What is up, YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2018 Back Battles. Today, we are using the Accelgor team once again with Accelgor, Tapu, Lele, Charizard-Y, Landorus variant, Mimikyu, and Snorlax, the team that I used to get top 4 at the Roanoke Regional Championship. And let's just play some games to get into it. So this team has been doing pretty well so far. It's definitely one of the hardest teams, I think, that I've ever brought to the series. It might be actually one of the most complicated, and I've actually played on Showdown a little bit, and I've actually faced a lot of, I'm guessing, a lot of viewers who have been trying out the team. Again, the placement of this team will be coming out with the team report that I will be releasing. I believe it's going to be either this Friday or Saturday, so highly recommend looking out. And if you're watching this video, you know, about probably just a few days after its release, you can already check out the team because it will be in the description down below, edited of course. But yeah, otherwise, if you have been missing out my Twitch streams, I highly recommend go follow me on my Twitch channel because I have been streaming quite often recently, and I will link it down below. And of course, if you want to know what days I will be streaming, you can check down in the comments down below, and I might leave a comment the night before I will stream. So if I upload this video on a Tuesday night and I leave a comment saying I'm going to stream on Wednesday afternoon, I'll probably be streaming that Wednesday afternoon. So that just a little hint, always check the comment section. But we got Scizor, Tapu Koko, Tapu Fini, Landorus variant, Hawlucha, and Incineroar. Very interesting team. Looks like we're going to see the Mega Scizor come out, which is probably a pretty good matchup for my Accelgor right here. Accelgor puts in a ton of work right here. Don't think Mimikyu Snorlax is the way to go. I definitely do like Charizard, Lele, Landorus, and Accelgor. I think I just got to figure out what order I like it in. I think I want to go Accelgor plus Charizard, which is pretty effective here, with Tapu, Lele, and I think Landorus in the back. Or I could lead Landorus. I don't think leading Landorus has too many demerits right here. Really doesn't. I just want something that can pressure the Hawlucha. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with these four. This is an interesting team that we're fighting because, one, I don't know which seed the Hawlucha is going to have. You most likely want to assume that Hawlucha is going to have a seed for the Unburden boost. Options like Tailwind, obviously the Encore, Swords Dance is a potential option. It's got a lot of neat tricks, so Trainer Misty will challenge us with the team. We got Accelgor and Charizard as our lead here against the Tapu Fini and Hawlucha, so probably that Misty Seed is going to activate right here. Okay, so Misty Surge is going to activate. Unfortunately, my Accelgor isn't really going to be too hot here. It doesn't exactly want to take an attack from this Hawlucha. Although I think Overheat should be able to knock out Hawlucha, but I'm not exactly too sure. I really don't want Tailwind going up, but I might have to accept Tailwind because I don't want Acrobatics going on. I don't think Hawlucha carries a Rock-type move, but if it carries a Rock-type move, I could be in a bit of a detrimental situation, but I think it's worth risking it since Hawlucha doesn't tend to carry it. I think going for Heat Wave or Overheat is a fine play. I think actually just going for the Overheat and risking it right off the bat is an alright play for me. We're actually going to see the Tapu Fini switch out, which is interesting, into Lander. So if I actually went for the Heat Wave, a lot of damage would have went off right there onto my opponent. So a little bit frustrating because I could have gotten that massive damage off. But right here, if I can knock out the Hawlucha, still not a bad trade. I'm not sure what you're going to go for. I'm pretty sure the Tailwind's going to come out. Yet I can't 100% say for certain it'll be Tailwind, but I don't want Acrobatics going out into my Accelgor, and I didn't want to switch in my Landorus right there because I think that would have put me in a pretty poor position. So I'll just protect Accelgor. It's a very safe play, as let's see what the Hawlucha is going to go for. It is going to be just a Tailwind. Okay. So I could have went for Acid Spray Heat Wave. I could have went for Final Gambit. Good to know, but Overheat will come out. Does connect with the Hawlucha and probably will pick up the knockout or maybe close. Yeah, it does actually just pick up the knockout on Hawlucha. Even through that Misty Seed because of the fact it's just such a strong attack. Overheat and Sun can do so much damage. Looks like that Hawlucha didn't have enough EVs to survive that Overheat. As get a pretty big knockout. My opponent does get Tailwind though, which is a little bit, you know, troublesome. But let's see what my opponent's going to bring out next. Probably the Scizor, I would imagine. But Fini's actually going to come back out, which is alright too. I think I could double switch here. Lele plus my Landorus looks like a very nice play here. And Landers is specifically for the Tapu Koko and my opponent's Landers. Muddy Water isn't going to hurt too much here. So I think I'll just switch out my Accelgor out into my Landers and just switch out my Charizard into the Tapu Lele in case there is like a Hydro Vortex that goes out into the Charizard slot, because I don't want my Landers taking that Hydro Vortex by mistake. I think it would be a Moonblast onto my Landers if you're going to double that slot up with maybe a Rock Slide plus Moonblast combination. So we'll see what my opponent does. He got multiple options. You have Swords Dance or Calm Mind. You could definitely go for it here. I don't mind because I do have that final Gambit in the back. And with the Psychic Terrain, once I set up my Accelgor, I'll have the Unburden boost, so I can actually outspeed the Feeny under Tailwind. I'm not sure if I'll outspeed the Landorus because it depends on what variant it is. If it's a Choice Scarf, Rock Slide going to come out, misses my Tapu Lele. Wouldn't have done much damage, but you know, damage is always damage. We're going to see the Moonblast come out and target the Tapu Lele slot. It's a very nice play from my opponent. I end up taking quite a bit of damage right there, as yeah, that damage isn't exactly the greatest for me. However, don't think I really mind that too much, as here I got multiple plays. A Rock Tomb in the land onto my opponent's Lander sounds pretty tempting, like a Rock Tomb Psychic combination, and I do kind of like that play because I don't want to protect Landers and have my Lele get doubled up. I also don't want Hydro Vortex going out into my Landers if I decide to switch out my Lele, and I don't have good switching anyway. So think I don't lose much by just going for damage on the Landers, as we're going to see the Feeny retreat, which is an interesting play. Is Scizor going to come out, which I do not mind because I don't mind Scizor as U-Turn's actually going to come out. Okay, so this actually works out beautifully. So we find out it's not Scarf Landers. That's really good to confirm, because if I get any damage on that Landers, Heat Wave is going to put me in a really solid position right there. And thanks to Scizor coming out, I mean, I'm going to get damage on Feeny, which is already great for my Landers, right? Let's see let's see how much damage I'm going to be doing with the Psychic plus the Rock Tomb, which does allow my Lele probably just to outspeed the Feeny afterwards. So Psychic, good amount of damage, as Rock Tomb will come out into the Tapu Fini. Good amount of damage. Do I want to switch out my Landers, which I think is an okay play? Yeah, I think switching out Landers is an okay play here. And just going for a Psychic into the Tapu Fini, because I do want to keep Landers around for another Intimidate, because I think Scizor might decide to Swords Dance here. It might not decide to Swords Dance. It might go for like just a Bullet Punch. I don't know if Feeny would go for Hydro Vortex here, and that's something I was also worried about, Landers coming back in from my opponent's side. So the reason I wanted to make this play originally is because of the fact that I wanted to have Intimidate in case Scizor got out of hand. I also wanted yeah, I didn't want to Tectonic Rage to Feeny, because that was probably the only move that could knock out Feeny in that position if Lele goes down. So we'll bring out Charizard right here. We are going to see Scizor Mega Evolve. We'll find out what move it decides to go for. It could be the Swords Dance right here or the Bullet Punch. I would imagine one of those two moves are going to come out specifically. So let's see what's coming out. Nope, Bullet Punch. So I'm guessing it's the Swords Dance. Psychic going to come out into the Landers. So much damage, as we do see the Swords Dance come out from the Scizor. Now, as long as we don't miss Heat Wave, I should be in a very solid position to win this game, as Tailwind does peter out. I think I'm just going to go for the Heat Wave right here into the Landorus and the Scizor, and I'm going to actually switch out into... I can also just Heat Wave Psychic, because if you Bullet Punch, I will knock out the Landorus. Like, I'm thinking maybe I could conserve the Psychic Terrain, because Psychic Terrain could be useful. But then again, I could go for Psychic here, just in case, because yeah, if you protect the Scizor, I know you're not Choice Scarf Landers, so I'm able to knock out the Landers guaranteed with the Psychic. So I do get rid of one factor to my opponent's side of the field. So get rid of that, as I will go for the Heat Wave. Does go into the Protect. Sun Fades? Yeah, Sun Fades right here. And then Feeny comes out. Lele's still useful. Yeah, Lele's still useful. I'll just Heat Wave here, and I think switch out into my Landers, because the Psychic Terrain could be beneficial to me. So I'm going to switch out into my Landers, get this Intimidate off, which probably doesn't matter realistically. It shouldn't matter on the Scizor. I'm going for the Heat Wave. If you get a double Protect, I feel like, you know, I'm in a little bit of a tough position, but I still think it's okay here. But we're just going to see a last-ditch Bullet Punch into the Landers, which is not going to KO thanks to that. Intimidate, Heat Wave comes out. We do connect to Scizor, and that should just be game because I do have, again, Accelgor with Final Gambit, which should be able to knock out the Feeny. I do have my Lele in the back, which is going to threaten me with powerful Psychic in terrain, especially since it's not Barrier. It looks like it is that Hydro Vortex, so we are going to see Hydro Vortex come out. I could have also went for a Psychic into the Feeny because of the fact that, you know, if Scizor attempts to go for the double, which I thought maybe my opponent would do, I would just be able to knock out the Feeny, and there'd be no way for my opponent to win. But the main thing was I was thinking maybe my opponent's best play is to rely on the Heat Wave miss right there. So if I miss Heat Wave, I'd be in a pretty bad spot. If you Bullet Punch my Lele, I'd go down to the Lele, and then I have Landers plus Accelgor in the back, and then you can just Bullet Punch, Muddy Water, all that good stuff. So the reason I made this play is because, one, I'm pretty sure that I could have just went into Lele and, you know, go for a... With the Psychic terrain up, I could Final Gambit with my Accelgor, or I could Encore the Scizor. Like, I could Encore the Scizor into Bullet Punch right there if Landers went down. Like, I could go Accelgor and I can Encore the Scizor and then switch out on the Lele, keep the Psychic terrain up so that the Scizor couldn't do anything. Feeny couldn't do much damage-wise, could only at worst get a Muddy Water accuracy drop. A crit wouldn't have knocked out either one of my Pokemon. So that's the main reason I made the plays that I did, because because of the worst case scenario of me missing Heat Wave, I think I would have still been fine because of the fact that Accelgor with Encore is such a big threat to my opponent's side of the field. And I do have my Tapu Lele with the Psychic terrain in the back. So that's the main reason I went for that play instead of just, you know, going for the Psychic into Feeny, which might have seemed like a safe play. But hey, the Psychic terrain is still useful for my Accelgor in the back. So that is the reason why I decided to make the plays that I did. I hope that does make sense to people. But let us move on to the second game. We do pull out a win with this team. This team is 6-0 currently, which I really do enjoy seeing, as it is a really fun team. It's really complicated to use, but once you know, get the hang of it, the battles are pretty quick. You just got to make sure you use the time wisely, your time wisely, because at regionals, like, most of the games I had were pretty much only a few turns, but the thing about those turns is, like, it still took a little bit because I was always thinking, okay, well, how do I put myself in those good positions where this team can really shine? And especially with Charizard, we're going to face a Como team, it looks like. This should be fun. This team was designed to be a pretty good Como answer. We're going to see the Incineroar, Whimsicott, Gengar, Tapu Bulu, Greninja, and the Como. So I do have Scarf Lele, which is really good against my opponent's team. Wondering what I should lead here. I kind of like Charizard Landers. Charizard Landers is pretty good. Mimikyu is actually pretty good too. I don't need the Final Gambit option realistically. Like, I'm trying to think. If we lead Gengar, Whimsicott, I think it's good to go Charizard Landers as the lead. I think it's really effective against my opponent's team. Other than the Greninja, which could be scary, I think have Mimikyu in the back with Tapu Lele. Yeah, I'm gonna go with these four. Because I think Accelgor could put in work. I do like Accelgor, but the problem is Accelgor doesn't have, like, there's a Sash on Whimsicott, which, you know, prevents the Final Gambit option. Gengar isn't affected by Final Gambit, although it does get affected by the Encore potential. Incineroar, I feel like will lead here because that's probably your best answer to my team. Like, I've noticed, like, when I was using Como, obviously, I did test around how to get around this sort of team if it's possible, and it's like your only options really to play well with the Incineroar, I feel like. So let's see what my opponent's going to go for. There is a Greninja though, which makes a big difference, so we'll see if Greninja comes into play, but it's Incineroar plus Whimsicott, which is expected here. So I'm not going to Mega Evolve because I don't want the Flare Blitz to become too powerful. I think it's just very safe to go for a Earthquake plus Heat Wave. I could go for a Tectonic Rage right away, but the question is, do I really need to do that? Because Incineroar is not threatening much damage right here. So I'm thinking realistically, I can just go for the Heat Wave Earthquake because I can break the Whimsicott's Focus Sash. I don't know what's going to come out. Fake Out probably going to come out. And I don't know, we could see Whimsicott just go for the Tailwind attempt. What I really don't want happening is me Tectonic Raging the Incineroar, because yes, I get rid of the Incineroar, but my opponent gets 3 turns of Tailwind, and I don't exactly want that happening. So I think it's better just to go for the Earthquake, just for some spread damage and Heat Wave, because I either bring Whimsicott to a Sash, or I break the Sash with Earthquake. I think I'm going to go out into my Landers, as Tailwind does come out from the Whimsicott, which is fine. As I will go for the Heat Wave, hopefully connect here. I do connect, which is nice. And that will be able to break the Whimsicott down to its Focus Sash. And Incineroar takes a little bit of chip, which is always useful. There's a Focus Sash. And now the question is, what does my opponent do in the following turns? I do have Tapu Lele, I do have Mimikyu, so I'm not really too worried about the, the Como in the back. Think right here, I'll just go for my Z move into the Incineroar, because I don't know if my opponent's gonna switch on Incineroar, but I think it's okay. Oh shoot, it's Endeavor. But I'm faster than the Well, I guess the Incineroar does need a little bit of speed investment. It looks like it's not max speed Incineroar, so I will be able to actually knock out the Whimsicott. We're gonna see the knockoff come out on the Charizard. Into Landers. Okay. Not what I expected there. Not what I expected there at all. So I'm gonna be able to pick up a knockout onto the okay, I don't know what is going on. Gonna pick up a knockout onto the Incineroar slot. I don't know what just happened. Endeavor was cool. I maybe should have thought about that. Then again, I don't think there's much I could do really to think about that. I was always gonna Heat Wave there. I couldn't like overheat the Incineroar, I guess, but I want to break the Whimsicott Sash there. So Endeavor was a pretty cool trick, but one, it wasn't faster than my Charizard. Two, my opponent even targeted the Charizard. First, see Tapu Bulu come out alongside Como actually. So yeah, it does look like maybe my opponent with Soul Blaze here. You shouldn't ever Soul Blaze here. I think if you have Substitute, you go for Substitute here. But yeah, I'm just going to switch out my Charizard, go out of my Tapu Lele, and double switch here in the Mimikyu. Because if you do attempt to Soul Blaze, I punish you. You don't have Soul Blaze for the rest of the game, so that's actually pretty huge. And once I stall out Tailwind, Earthquake plus Heat Wave is going to do a massive amount. The question is what kind of Bulu this is, if it's Choice Scarf. Because most teams do run Choice Scarf on the Tapu Bulu, but with Greninja, it could be Scarf Greninja. I am worried about if you do read my switch into Charizard, since it could be obvious I'm switching out Charizard. You might decide to, or you might be thinking maybe try the last ditch attempt to Soul Blaze. I get Mimikyu in. Wood Hammer is going to come out. It does target the Mimikyu slot, so I'm guessing Soul Blaze is coming out. That's like the only play I would imagine coming out right here. Or maybe you go for Flamethrower. No, you do attempt a Z move, and it is going to fail thanks to the fact that I did get rid of your Soul Blaze option. So, not bad, not bad. As it doesn't affect Tapu Lele or Mimikyu, so you'll not see the Clangor Soul Blaze here. I can easily switch out my Tapu Lele. I think Charizard's pretty much useless at this point of the game. I could just go Landers for the Mimikyu, intimidate the Tapu Bulu. But I think it's just better to go... I think it's better to go Charizard actually, just sack Charizard. I don't really have to worry about the Como because I always win with my... what am I trying to say? I always win with my Lele against Como unless it has Poison Jab for some reason or Flash Cannon, so should be able to win that. I'll sack Charizard right here because I think Landers is still useful. Wood Hammer going to come out, target down to Mimikyu. Good play from my opponent. It actually does pick up the knockout on Mimikyu, so very nice play from my opponent, but that extra damage is actually pretty big. Flamethrower going to come out, which isn't a big deal. And with the Psychic Terrain, I'm pretty sure Scarf Psychic should just be able to outspeed the Tapu Bulu, and I'm pretty sure do I outspeed Tapu Bulu? I'm pretty sure I do. Lele. Yes, I did EV the Lele to outspeed Scarf Tapu Bulu. Okay, perfect. I'm pretty sure Tapu Bulu hits 139 max. Actually, no, wait. Did we speed tie? He might speed tie. Okay, it might come down to please don't crit me. I could also Dazzling Gleam here. But it comes down to the same situation, I think. We already confirmed it. Scarf Tapu Bulu did outspeed my Mimikyu. I will go for the Psychic here and the Tapu Bulu and the Rock Tomb. As yeah, I either speed tie or I'm pretty sure I outspeed. I'm pretty sure Tapu Bulu hits 139. I gotta double check. I'm pretty sure it hits 139. That's the main reason I think I made the Lele 139. Flamethrower gonna come out, really doesn't do much damage. Rock Tomb. I really gotta double check. I use Tapu Bulu too. I use Tapu Bulu and this Lele. So yeah, it does outspeed. Yes, Tapu Bulu does hit 139. I'll just make sure by looking up on my phone. I'm pretty sure it does. Tapu Bulu. Speed stat. Showdown. Yeah, it does outspeed. Okay, perfect. Tapu Bulu hits 139 max, so Scarf will not outspeed me since my Lele is at 140. So yeah, that's the main reason I did make that spread. I kind of have to remember that too, since I did make this Lele. Like, I made this team. I thought this team would be good because Como, you know, just won 2 regionals before the Roanoke meta. So that's the main reason I did, you know, decide to bring this team. It had a good Como matchup. I didn't want to play the mirror. Like, I could have used the Como team that I used to win 2 weeks ago at Toronto when Roanoke was happening, but I didn't want to play the mirror. That was like one thing I was really just didn't want to play because I don't like playing the mirror, especially since most people already knew. Like at Toronto, I ran Spotlight Clefairy, so I don't know if people were taking Spotlight Clefairy on their Clefairies for the mirror, or if people would expect it because Spotlight was more of like a niche tech that really would only come to play in the mirror. So yeah, that's the main reason why I didn't want to play that mirror, as we find our last opponent from Brazil, 15-16 rating, with the team of Tapu Fini, Blaziken, Togedemaru, Landorus Fairy, Braviary, and the Celesteela. Now, I do know this team actually. It is a team that has been pretty common recently. Yeah, it's been a team that's been pretty common recently because of the fact that I think it won a special. I don't know. I don't remember if it's the Blaziken team that won the special or if it was the Charizard-Y version special, but there was a team report recently on it. So what do I like here? I like Accelgor Tapu Lele a lot. I think it's really effective against my opponent's team. I do like Charizard and Landorus because it does so much work against my opponent's team. If I can get rid of the Celesteela, I'm in pretty good shape. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go those 4. I think if anything, I'm gonna be doubling out my Tapu Lele. Yeah, I think I'll be doubling out my Tapu Lele. I just want to lead this in case, because if the Scarf Landorus does lead, I want to final Gambit right away because I want to get rid of that Scarf Landorus. I don't remember if it was Jolly or Admin originally, but we'll find out, I guess. Let's see what my opponent's gonna have. Accelgor Tapu Lele. I don't think you lead Celesteela because of the Charizard lead I could potentially have. We're gonna see Blaziken Landorus, which is kind of what you expect here. So I will just go for... I have multiple plays. I think Psychic into Blaziken is very safe here in a final Gambit. We do confirm it's Scarf Landorus, and we do actually confirm it's Jolly Scarf Landorus because of the fact that it did outspeed my Tapu Lele. So I can just final Gambit that Pokemon. Yeah. I'll just go for the final Gambit, because nothing on my opponent's team likes a final Gambit, and I think Blaziken has to protect. I could double up the Landorus slot, but I might as well just go for the Psychic into Blaziken. Because I think the only Pokemon that can switch into Final Gambit is either Togedemaru or Celesteela, and that's just, you know, free target for my, that's just free for my Landers to come in. Tapu Fini is going to come out, which is actually fine, because that's a Pokemon that doesn't, that's like one of my opponent's few Heat switch-ins, as well as, you know, good answer to my Landers. So I'll definitely take that trade, for sure. Final Gambit into the Fini. So we'll trade Accelgor for Fini, which I don't think is a too bad of a trade there. And actually, did Blaziken protect? I don't think it did it? No, it didn't. So Psychic will probably just knock out the Blaziken. Yeah. Oh. Why did my opponent do that? That's a little bit confusing. I'm gonna bring out my Charizard now. I'm bringing out Charizard, even though, yes, I know there's a Landorus, but since it's Jolly Scarf, I don't want Braviary to come in. That's the thing. But it's actually Celesteela. Okay. Celesteela is fine. I'm just gonna come out. I think I want to maneuver. It's Misty Seed Celesteela. I know that. Yep. Probably has acrobatics. Overheat does knock out Celesteela. I gotta be careful though, because if it gets a beast boost, I guess that could be annoying. And I just want to protect Charizard. Maybe Landis was better because I could Rock Tomb. I might as well just go Landorus now, because I think keeping Charizard, because I don't want like flinches happening. That's the main thing. That's the main thing I have to worry about, are flinches coming out here. So I get to intimidate my opponent's Landorus. I get to avoid the intimidate on my own side, which is really good. I'm actually really surprised that Blaziken didn't protect. Maybe my opponent thought it was too obvious, but if you're gonna bait the final Gambit, you should know Feeny doesn't live, so there's no, you know, drawback into protecting the Blaziken there. We'll protect Charizard here. Rock Slide gonna come out. My opponent's forced to lock itself in the Rock Slide, and probably a Heavy Slam or Acrobatics coming out in my Landorus, which, you know, since I'm bulky Landorus, I'll be able to survive easily. Heavy Slam does come out. And how much does it do? Fair amount. I'll switch into Lele here and Rock Tomb, because this gives me a few opportunities to actually target down the Landorus. Because with Scarf, Modest, Lele, I don't remember if Psychic does knock out Landorus, but after Rock Tomb damage, it definitely would. I don't know if you target down my Lele, but if I can get a Rock Tomb off into the Landorus slot, I'm still in a really solid position regardless. So Rock Slide's gonna come out. I'm just hoping, really hoping, get the Rock Tomb off. We flinch, but it's Leech Seed actually coming out. Okay, interesting. Because Acrobatics would have knocked out the Charizard with Rock Slide, so I don't get the Acrobatics play. I don't get the Leech Seed play, actually. We'll go for Psychic and Rock Tomb. We just need one of these hits. Well, I think we just need to Rock Tomb specifically, but I would really love it if we can actually get, you know, Psychic damage off and get a double knock. If we can get a knockout. We do get a Psychic off. If this KOs, I'm in a really good position. Doesn't knock out. It actually 1 HP. But we do get the Rock Tomb and we do connect, so we'll be able to knock out the Landorus. And as long as Charizard doesn't decide to be blind, we should be able to win this game. As Leech Seed's gonna come out actually into the Landorus. Okay. And since I don't want to give this Celesteela and Misty Seed boost, well, a special defense boost because of the fact that but do I risk Acrobatics creating a Charizard? I think I do here. I'm gonna withdraw on the Charizard and just protect. Again, I don't want to give this thing a boost. I don't know if you target down my Landorus slot. I could have U-turned, I guess. But I do want to just Rock Tomb the Celesteela. Heavy Slam gonna come out. Target down my Tapu. Okay. I'm really surprised because do you not have Acrobatics? I feel like you always go for Acrobatics. And I'll just attempt to Overheat here. Because Overheat does knock out Celesteela, even with the Seed boost. And I'll go on a Lele, because I can get another Intimidate off with my Landorus and keep it around as a switch. I'm pretty sure Overheat at even at +1, Celesteela should go down, because it's Charizard-Y in the sun. Like, this thing's so terrifying. Oh, and if I don't get the KO, he crits me. I mean, I should still be good. I think the only way is if I miss an Acrobatics crits. Because I think that's the only way my opponent can actually win the game. Because if I hit, I just get too much damage off, because Celesteela won't be able to live another attack for sure. Yeah, I just knocked out the Celesteela with Overheat, and that's going to be a good game to my opponent, so we do take a victory here. And yeah, 3 victories in today's episode. Charizard-Y putting in some work. So did Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele was really impressive. Accelgor was able to put in some work. And yeah, that's how you utilize the final Gambit, because no matter what my opponent was switching into, if Celesteela took too much damage, my opponent's team was really weak to my own Landorus. Plus my Tapu Lele. If Feeny went down, as you saw, my opponent's team was really weak to my Charizard plus Landorus combination. And yeah, if Landorus went down, my Charizard had a lot of fun against my opponent's team. So no matter what, my opponent was taking a pretty losing trade from the start, especially since we already confirmed it was Short Scarf Landorus at the beginning of the battle. Final Gambit was just going to be able to pick up a knockout, or just, you know, again, a lot of damage on Celesteela to the point where it was pretty much useless in the battle. And yeah, not protecting Blaziken was a really, I guess, gutsy play, but I don't feel like it was super. Like, I really wonder what my opponent's thought process there was, because you know, you just lost your Blaziken immediately. Was it really worth a trade? I'm really wondering what my opponent was thinking. But hope that everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2018 Baek Battles. If you did like it, please like down below, as it shows your support, as well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as my social medias like my Twitter, my Twitch channel. Follow them to let you know when I go live. Highly recommend you check out the rest of my social medias. The previous episodes of VGC 2018 Baek Battles are in a playlist down below. If you have missed them, go check it out. But otherwise, feel free to leave a comment down below, as I do read them, and check the comments down below, because I might leave a message saying that I'll be streaming the following day. Otherwise, yeah, that is pretty much it. Have a great day, people. Until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.